Hello, hello. Wow, I just checked right before I hit record, and it has actually been 10 days since I recorded this podcast. The last episode was February 14th, which is definitely destroying my analytics. I was on a streak of improving the listens every week. So obviously, not putting out an episode for 10 days means that last week hit a zero, but that's okay. We're going to pick that right back up. Um, the freeze in Texas got the games last week canceled or postponed, I guess. Definitely hope everybody out there listening is doing better now. I know things have improved. I know the weather has gotten better, but I know that things could have been affected that are still requiring some recovery. So if you're one of those impacted by the weather, the outages, what have you, definitely hope things continue to improve on your side and that things are doing better now. With that said, the Mavs did just come off a back-to-back versus the Grizzlies and Celtics. 2 wins. 2 different stories. The Grizzlies game was we kind of won from start to finish. The Celtics game was more of a back and forth affair, but we pulled it out in the end. So we'll get into all that. Optimist Bibs is on the podcast today, so you'll get to see him. But with that said, let's take our first break, and then we'll get straight into what we liked and what we didn't like. If you're a person that's interested in pop culture collectibles, Mondo has you covered. Mondo works with major artists and studios to forge beautifully designed, licensed products that navigate pop culture. It started with posters, then soundtrack LPs, and has blossomed into the ever-expanding hydra of art-forward entertainment collectibles. That's games, puzzles, apparel, and toys. If you're interested in purchasing or just browsing some Mondo merchandise, hit me up on Twitter or wherever, and I can get you a special link to check out their website. Also, Mondo is kind of paired with Alamo Drafthouse. And if you're not aware of Alamo Drafthouse is dinner, drinks, movies, and events all under one roof. Their attention to detail in film presentation and programming has made them a second home to movie fans all over the planet and earned accolades from the likes of Entertainment Weekly, who said that they were the #1 theater in America, Wired.com, who called them the coolest movie theater in the world, and Fandango.com, who called them one of the best theaters in the country. If you're interested in purchasing Alamo Drafthouse movie tickets or gift cards, again, hit me up. I can get you a link. And if you purchase through that link, it does me a solid. Alamo Drafthouse, again, is one of my favorite theaters out there. They are based out of Austin and have a ton of theaters across the state in Texas. Also have locations in other places, so if you're curious if they have a location near you, again, hit me up. I can get you a link and we can figure that out. And with that said, let's get back to the game. Welcome back yet again to the Bibs Corner podcast, episode 37 of season 2. We're going to talk about the Grizzlies and Celtics games and some other stuff, of course. Like I told you guys, I do have Optimist Bibs on the podcast today, and we're actually what we're gonna do, I added the segment, what I liked, what I didn't like. And so what I want to do is I'm going to have Optimist Bibs take over the what I liked, and then I'll handle the what I didn't like. So first of all, let me introduce my guest, Optimist Bibs. He is new to Mavs Twitter. Made his debut right before the Grizzlies game and said he's going to stick with us until the winning streak ends. So, Optimist, please take over. Wow. Thanks, Bibs. So, first of all, I have to say, it's an honor to be here. I can't believe you invited me on the podcast. I've had some fun this week, guys. Everybody's been so kind, and even the people that aren't kind, I think that they're being fun. It's more of a laughing with you instead of laughing at you situation. So thanks to everybody for being so kind. Yeah, I need you to just get straight into it, buddy. This is not why I brought you here. Okay. Yes. So anyway, so yeah, what we liked. First of all, Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson has been phenomenal. I hate when people say they want to trade Jalen Brunson. He is a key piece of this team and a key piece for the future. In the first game against the Grizzlies, 19 points, 7 boards, 3 assists. Tonight, 22 points off the bench. Like, come on, where are you going to get that kind of production? Huh? Where are you going to get that kind of production? Brunson is great. I hope he's here for the long haul. And no, don't. I see you wanting to cut in. No, this is my time. All right, anyway. Luka, of course. How can you not like Luka? Tonight, 31, 10 boards, 8 assists, almost had a 30-point triple-double. And then how can we forget 2 clutch threes, including the game winner with a 1/10 of a second left. Luka is, again, I said it on Twitter, he's the best player in the league. Nobody can stop him. Definitely deserved the all-star starter over Dame Dollar or whatever he calls himself. Luka is great. Of course, he's on the list of things that I liked. And then THJ. Wow. Another guy that Mavs fans love to take for granted, THJ. In game 1, Luka wasn't scoring very much. Guess who stepped up? THJ. THJ had 29 points against the Grizzlies. 29. Okay, Luka had 21, I think. THJ, nobody in the NBA can step up and do what THJ did in that game with no KP, just came out firing and took over the game. And then finally, Josh Richardson. I said it before the first game that after the break, he was going to come back firing, and he has. 17 points in the first game, 16 points in the second game, a consistent, steady effort, really good defense. And, he looks like a piece that we have to keep long term. Go Mavs. Thank you, Optimist Bibs. I almost don't want to follow that. Then maybe you shouldn't. I can't trust you to handle what I didn't like. Is there anything that you didn't like? I mean, what's not to like? It's the Dallas. All right, shut up, man. Just shut up. I want to cut your mic. I'm kicking you out of the Zoom. Goodbye. Good God. Oh, I don't know how you guys are putting up with that. I want to fight him right now. Anyway, what I didn't like tonight. So he mentioned THJ. So yeah, he did step up in the first game, score 29 points, blah de blah, right? Tonight he was 6 for 17 and 0 for 8 from 3. Let me repeat that. 0 for 8 from 3, 6 for 17. He had 14 points. Jalen Brunson took 11 shots. That's 6 less shots. And he had 22 points. THJ, it can be a black hole at times, where sometimes it's cool to have him scoring. It is not cool when he's just firing up bricks, especially when most of them are not within the rhythm of the game. So THJ, on my list of things I didn't like for the second game, at least. First game, at least the shots were going in. But again, I my stance on THJ has been consistent. I would rather have somebody give me a steady 17, 18 than somebody who can give me 29 and then go for 10 and miss every shot. Secondly, of course, KP's random ass injury. How do you get a week off from basketball and then come back with an injury? There were jokes about him spending way too much time with his girlfriend and making sure he didn't have the maxi bubble problem, if you will. This is me keeping it clean. It's just very annoying when you've already got an injury history like he has to come back from a long layoff. Team was healthy. Like, that was one of the few things I said is like, we were healthy and now we're going to be even healthier. And he comes back with a back injury that out of nowhere and misses 2 games. Now, we were able to win both games, but it's still annoying when we're trying to still figure out things with him. And so now we have to work him back in, and he's going to pretend that he's never played basketball before. He's going to pretend he's never played basketball with these guys, at least whenever he does come back. So, that's definitely on the list of things I didn't like. Then, of course, Maxey got an actual injury, twisted his ankle in the Grizzlies game, did not play in the Celtics game. Hopefully they kept him out tonight as a precautionary measure, dealing with a little swelling, whatever, and he's able to come back for the 76ers game. Definitely going to need as much beef as we can find, for this next game against Embiid, Dwight Howard, and the 76ers. So, and I'm guessing if Maxey does play, he'll get the Tobias Harris assignment, who's been hooping. Some people consider him an all-star snub. So definitely need Maxey back. And then finally, something I since I let Optimist Bibs take over the Twitter handle, I would have said this on myself on the timeline, but I haven't got the opportunity. We're still playing games. We're still playing with our food. The Grizzlies game, again, we went up 20. We kind of coasted for most of the game. I was waiting for it. It happened. The Grizzlies cut it to 10, and they had some great looks to get it even closer. They just weren't hitting the shots because, again, Luka was playing around. We get up big, and he takes his foot off the gas. He's not aggressive, and that's why he only had 21 points. Again, it didn't cost us because the Grizzlies aren't a great team, but against good teams, they're going to come back. The Celtics tonight did that, for example. We went up, looked like we had the game in the bag, and foot off the gas. Celtics come right back. Now, they hit some crazy shots, but again, we didn't have the responses until it was the very end, and Luka did Luka things. And so, obviously, we appreciate having Luka on our team. With that said, we're going to move to the stats portion of the pod. And I don't want to go through the full box score, so key things I wanted to hit. Again, Brunson tonight, I think Optimist Bibs hit it earlier, 22, 2, and 2. Boban tonight played 13 minutes, had 10 points and 8 boards, a team leading plus 13. And I know some of you don't like that particular statistic, but I don't know, it feels relevant here. Gave us great minutes, had a very impactful performance. So thank you to Boban stepping up in the absence of KP and Maxey. Josh Richardson has been hitting threes. He was 3 for 7 in the first game from 3 and 2 for 4 in the second game. So 5 for 11 across these last two. So if he's hitting shots, that's a good thing for us. The player of the game. So I'm doing players of the game, so one for each. I will give it to THJ in game 1 because, again, he did step up. He did hit some shots. He was looking quite unstoppable. And then, of course, Luka in the second game, 31, 10, and 8. Had the 2 clutch shots at the very end. What's not to like about that, right? Let's take another break, and then I'll go ahead and do the NBA news or news around the NBA, and we'll get into our parting thoughts. Hello, friends. With so many people cutting the cord, you may be looking for your next streaming option, and I have a couple for you. First is Vidgo. Vidgo is a live TV streaming service that includes live entertainment, lifestyle, news, and sports channels for about $40 a month. Right now, doing a special for $10 a month for the first 2 months. The service has locals from ABC and Fox, as well as entertainment channels like Disney, Discovery, sports channels like ESPN and Fox Sports, as well as NFL Network and NFL Red Zone. If you're interested in checking out Vidgo, of course, hit me up for the link. I can definitely get that to you, and you can get set up today. If you want to browse the channels, you can do that right there on the site. Additionally, Philo is another streaming service. It's actually one that I use. They offer 60 plus top rated television channels, including MTV, BET, AMC, Discovery, Food Network, OWN, Lifetime, TV One, all for just $20 a month. Philo offers premium add-on channels, including Epics and Stars. They have live TV, unlimited DVR on demand, and content from top programmers are available on web browsers. They have functionality with Roku, Fire TV, etc., all except the first-generation Chromecast devices. They also offer a 7-day free trial for new users. So again, if you want to check them out, hit me up for the link. That's Vidgo and Philo. And Philo I use to kind of supplement because my mom cut the cord as well. So she uses some of the Lifetime, OWN Network, ID channel, stuff like that. And that's not on YouTube TV, which I also have. So, yeah, just to check out the TV lineups, at least hit me up. Again, I can get you the link. And with that said, let's move on to our parting thoughts. All right, welcome back. Let's get straight into this Mavs news, or not Mavs news, NBA news. First thing, I don't know if you guys have heard, but the Mavs Outsiders podcast is quite lit. If you aren't subscribed, if you aren't listening, why not? Why not? Just go do it. This last episode was quite crazy. Me and Reese got into some interesting things. I kind of hit record early while we were just talking about stuff. We talk about our bird phobias in the beginning. I somehow transitioned into a story about some trips to plantations where some interesting things happened. And then we started talking about Mavs basketball for a while. At one point, I went on a rant about getting a player with some cheeks onto the Mavs. And then we go into our regular scheduling, closing out programming. And I believe the weekly forecast is one of my favorite segments to do. I get to do my newscaster voice and tell you what to expect this coming week. So let's see. If you have not checked out the Mavs Outsider podcast, definitely do it. It is available on all platforms now. Shout out to my man Dalton and my man Rolo for leaving dope 5-star reviews for the podcast. I love y'all. Anybody who has listened, definitely hit us with that 5-star review. If you listen to this podcast, hit me with that 5-star review as well, if you haven't done it already. Second news story of the week, Pau Gasol signing with Barcelona, looking to continue his basketball career back in his home country. So definitely happy for him. Minnesota fired head coach Ryan Saunders. Definitely saw the writing on the wall there. They somehow hired Toronto assistant Chris Finch, which was weird. I've never seen an assistant hired off someone's bench in the middle of the season. Someone said that this was the guy they wanted all along, technically, so whatever, I'll have to accept that. But interesting move nonetheless. The Timberwolves have gotten off to a terrible start. They've had some COVID issues, injury issues, so don't know how much you can really blame Ryan Saunders for that, but clearly they didn't really want to give him that job anyway. Moving forward, my man, Sindarius Thornwell, was waived by the Pelicans. May not be big news to you, but it is news to me. The timing was terrible. He had just gotten into it with some Celtics fans for posting that he was smoking on that Celtics pack after I think the Pelicans came back from down like 20 or something crazy to beat the Celtics. And Celtics fans were spamming his social media accounts. And he was going back and forth with them on Twitter and stuff like that. And then, of course, he gets waived like that same day. So hopefully he lands somewhere. I know they said that this was done for financial reasons. So we'll see. I definitely don't want him back home because from what I can tell, it is not... The block is hot in his area. He's lost like 3 or 4 friends like in the past year from different shootings. So definitely not trying to hear about something happening to him. Knock on wood there. So Josh Green was sent down to the G League, and it's hard for me to remember what I've talked about on this podcast because I have 12 podcasts now. But Green was sent down to the G League. He made his debut today, 16 points, 7 boards, 4 steals. He looked great in the first half, was a little bit out of control in the second. There were some plays where he was wide open and the other guys didn't see him or didn't look for him because he's new and he's coming in like halfway through the season. Hopefully that improves over the next few games, but they did get the W, so they've got to pretty much win every one of their last few games if they're going to have a shot at the bubble playoff. What else do we have? Sorry, I'm distracted watching the Blazers and Nuggets go down to the wire here. Kevin Porter Jr. in the bubble is a man amongst boys. Straight hooping, looks like he can do whatever he wants at any time down there. Very happy for him. Hope he stays out of trouble. And I hate that it's the Rockets that are going to benefit from this if he does, but definitely pulling for the kid. All-star reserves were announced, and my man Vucevic got his spot. Happy for that. Zach LaVine got his spot, which I was definitely hoping for as well. Zion is in. Donovan Mitchell and Rudy representing the Jazz. CP3's getting his flowers with the All-Star bid, and then Julius Randle in New York. Also, all deserving. I really personally had no complaints. I mean, of course, there's like a couple guys that you could squeeze in there, but who do you take out is the question, and I don't think anybody deserves to come out. Like, nobody got in that didn't deserve it. Moving forward, the Houston Rockets released DeMarcus Cousins this past couple of days. They want to go small, and he doesn't fit with that idea. I know what you're saying. Christian Wood isn't small, but he is very athletic and thus can play small, basically, is the idea. Cousins is a big body, kind of bulky center. And finally, the Kristaps Porzingis trade rumors. So it came out that the Mavericks might be quietly shopping Kristaps Porzingis initially. Then it was further clarified that we had reached out to the Warriors about a trade. Of course, the Mavs come out and deny that this occurred, but like, with the NBA, we know where there's smoke, there's some sort of fire, and it's hard not to believe that we at least spoke to somebody to gauge where his value was at. It's a two-way street in communication, so just because the Mavs didn't leak the info doesn't mean whoever they spoke to didn't leak the info. There has to be something there. Will anything come of it? We'll see. But that does lead me straight into my parting thoughts and question of the night. And I don't feel like asking a question, so we're just going to keep it at parting thoughts. If Porzingis is truly on the trade block, and if the team that we were looking to trade with is the Warriors, my question is what we would be trying to get. To match salary, we would have to include Oubre and or Wiggins. I'm not sure what Wiggins really brings to the team. I think he's a better player than some of the guys on our team, but I don't know what new dimension he truly adds. I wouldn't complain, but I still think we'd kind of be in a similar situation, except Wiggins being healthier than KP, and maybe not being able to go off quite as much as KP. It is what it is. If we were able to get Wiseman in that trade, now we're talking. Because now we're adding a new dimension. We're adding a guy that can rebound and do some of the things that we currently can't do, and is a young piece to move forward with. So that's where it kind of gets interesting to me. We'll have to see if anything ever comes of this, but as of now, we've got a month of time before we're going to know what this team is going to look like going into the home stretch. So that's really, I don't really want to go in on that too much. Parting thoughts, I'm not surprised to hear that KP may be being traded. And not even being traded, but that his trade value is being gauged, that it's clear he's not untouchable at this point in time. And that, at the very least, is all I ask, is that everybody not named Luka needs to be available, because we have to improve this roster, and we have until the end of this coming offseason to do so before we're going to be locked into some issues. And they may even be gauging KP's trade value because they are aware that we're kind of limiting what we can do. And after this offseason ends, KP is the only way we're going to be able to make any moves to make any dramatic changes to our roster. So they gauge where his value is now. And, if he plays out the rest of the season strong, maybe we can ship him in the offseason type of thing, if his value has increased. So I don't know, man. We will see. I don't enjoy speculating on these types of things because we don't know what's true and what's not. And I'd much rather react to concrete news with some evidence tied to it. But it is what it is. Last thing that I wanted to hit, and I think Optimist Bibs has made it hard to be regular Bibs. I feel like I have no energy based compared to him. But what I'll say is this: by beating the Grizzlies and Celtics, two teams that were 500 when we played them, and earned every piece of being 500 based on the way they've been playing, and we're now 500. When I look at the standings, and I believe we're in 9th place now, when I look at the standings, we are officially ahead of every team that we are better than. Let me say that again. Now that we are 500, we are officially ahead of every team that we are better than in the West. We're better than the Timberwolves. We're better than the Rockets. We're better than the Thunder. We're better than the Kings. We're better than the Pelicans. And we're better than the Grizzlies. I can say that and feel confident in it because I believe that we are better than those teams. I believe that we should be better than those teams, and I believe we should continue to be better than those teams. That puts us in the 9th spot. So my aspirations told me I wanted the 5 seed this year. But when I look at the NBA landscape, I don't know that we can catch these teams ahead of us. Now, the Warriors are another team that I thought we should be better than. But based on this KP situation, maybe not. So the Warriors are our next team. They're a game ahead of us, technically 2 wins ahead of us. They're 17-15. We're 15-15. So yeah, so it's the Warriors, then the Nuggets, who are, they've been weird this year as well. But again, I think they're still technically more talented than us. The Spurs, didn't expect them to be better than us, but everything on about them says that they are. They're the 6th seed at 16-11. The Blazers are not even healthy yet, and they're better than us. The Suns beat us and are more talented than us. They're actually a game back from the Lakers, who are the 3 seed right now. The Clippers are the 2, the Jazz are the 1. We're not better, definitely, than any of those top 5 teams. The Spurs, Nuggets, Warriors are iffy, but appear to be better than us right now on paper. So now is where we're in that zone where they need to prove me wrong. We're about to play 2 of the best teams in the East, with the 76ers and Nets back to back, the 2 best teams in the East, I should say. So we're going to be tested. It would be nice to have Porzingis on the court. We'll see if that happens. And I had to splice this, so this outro was done before I recorded this. So enjoy. Once again, if you have not been checking out the Outsiders podcast, do that, please. But until next time, peace.